Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Today's guest is Henry Montgomery, Chairman, CEO, and co-founder of Montgomery Pacific Outsourcing. In addition, Mr. Montgomery serves on a number of private company boards, has also been on the board or had committee membership of 6 other companies who have gone public, and is an active speaker of public forums. Please welcome to Greater Good Radio, Henry Montgomery. Welcome to our show, Henry.
Thank you, Carrie.
So, Montgomery Pacific Outsourcing, we call it MontPac. Can you tell us a little bit more about your company and what it does?
Delighted to do that. That's my favorite endeavor. By the way, I'm also on the board of 2 public companies and have been for some time, so I'm still doing that. The MontPac was formed 2.5 years ago to provide outsourced accounting, transaction processing, financial reporting, and financial management capability to smaller companies here in Hawaii, and also to for not-for-profits, and we've enjoyed some pretty good growth and acceptance, and we're very happy with our progress.
So in the layman's terms, you guys are an outsourced finance department or an outsourced accounting department?
Absolutely, that's exactly what we are, yeah.
Outsourcing is a new thing, but how did you folks come about this? I mean, it wasn't so popular, say, 15, 20 years ago, and you folks have been doing this for some time.
Yeah, well, we've been doing it here for the 2.5 years, but I started a company in California 22 years ago that's still there in the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley, and Sacramento regions, doing exactly this. The differences, though, are profound. For one thing, we never had the internet. That's a relatively recent innovation, if you will, or capability. We also didn't have the availability of very low-cost software with its ease of use, such as QuickBooks or other specialty software products for vertical markets, and the ability to use the internet allows you to be a global provider of these services, which gives you some cost advantages and also the availability of qualified personnel. In our case, we operate, of course, here in Honolulu at Restaurant Row, where our offices are, but we have a very large group of professionals in Manila, in Makati City, where we have what we call our operations center, and there's some wonderful, we have wonderful people. We have 33 employees of the accounting group, which is the bulk of it, probably 27 of them, or 28. Over half of those individuals are certified public accountants. Very professional, very fine group.
So can you tell us how you moved from your other company and then spun this company off?
Well, that didn't actually happen. I mean, they're 2 totally separate companies. The company in California, I even though my 2 adult children and I are the principal owners, none of the 3 of us are involved anymore, and so that's under a different leadership, but we're the major shareholders. But when I retired to Hawaii, I had a period of time, a great period of time, when all I did was basically play chess with your uncle and sit in the sun, your Uncle Chris. But since I started this thing 2.5 years ago, my life has been, my retirement is a joke. I'm about as unretired as anyone could be. So, but I started this because one of my co-founders, Bernice Parsons, she and her husband were my neighbors, and one day she said to me she was totally frustrated with the accounting for her own small business, a trading company, where she imported products from the Philippines, which is where she is from, she and her husband. And she said, I'm just going to call up my accountant in Manila and let her do the accounting from now on. And I said, well, I know how to do this. Why don't we start a company? And with that totally unprepared, obviously a comment for which I was totally unprepared, we started on this path, which has been fantastic. And it's just great fun. That's how it started. The outsourcing in general I started the company in California a long time ago because I saw a need for the smaller companies to have the same kind of cost-competitive accounting, financial management capability that large companies have, so that they can remain competitive. And that's even more true today because the larger companies have very significant cost advantages over smaller enterprises. Here in Hawaii, we're 95% probably small business and smaller not-for-profits. They don't get the economies of scale that you really have to remain competitive in today's world. With the downturn that we're seeing today, cost competitiveness, lowest possible cost of non-critical activities, which everyone will agree, accounting is non-critical, except the accountants, of course. But it really isn't critical to the mission of an enterprise. For instance, I'll take a not-for-profit. Their mission, of course, is to provide good things to people. If it costs too much money to do that, and accounting can be a large part of that, their administrative costs overwhelm their ability to meet their mission. And of course today, when I'm sure that all these companies, or all these, say, not-for-profits are going to face pressure from donations and state and federal support, it's even more critical that they have the lowest possible cost of administrative activities. And that's where we come in. I see that our ability to contribute to small businesses is just unparalleled in my view. And having good financial information, which is a part of this, having and timely financial information enables you to go out and focus on selling your business, selling your mission, and contributing to your customers and your constituents.
Thanks, Henry. We'll hear more about that after the break. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.